4K levels look okay. I recently learned a new word, kayfabe. Kayfabe is used to describe the presentation of scripted or staged events as real. Think WWE wrestling or late night show games or Larry the Cable Guy or the Grammys. Or think of illusionists. Kayfabe is presenting sleight of hand as magic to increase the emotional reaction of your audience. So how does this apply to creative professionals? Well, I used to think there was this hierarchy of content. The stuff lots of people watch is the best, and local car dealership commercials are the worst. You want big brand names for your website, and you want to have made things that lots of people have seen. This is somewhat true, but I think it's mostly kayfabe. Stick with me. I've been doing creative work full time for over 10 years now, and I've had the opportunity to work on some big commercials, some big music videos that have millions of views, national TV shows, and most of that work has actually been disappointing when it happened. Now, I think this is because I had unrealistic expectations, which were based on this false narrative or creative kayfabe. First off, big brands produce a crap ton of content, so having someone like Walmart on your portfolio isn't necessarily impressive. It's not bad, but that Super Bowl commercial you were dreaming of when you saw the brand name is probably a far cry from the internal corporate training video that ended up getting made. That's not a dig at Walmart, it's just the fact that these big companies produce a ton of content, and anytime you're doing that much stuff, 90% of it is probably just okay, but we want to appeal to the brand name because of this like 5 or 10% of stuff they put out that people actually aspire to. Second off, high view videos don't mean a thing unless you're the one getting the AdSense revenue or the person running the show. The 17 million view music video that I was a part of has led to exactly 0 calls to me personally so far. I'm sure it's made the band some money and hopefully opened doors for the director, but it hasn't done anything for me. Now, it is cool, and I totally support you reveling in the satisfaction of a lot of people watching something you did. That's super cool, and you should enjoy that. Let's just not be unclear about the difference between something that's cool and something that's like a good, actionable change in our life. Working with big athletes like Todd Gurley has been cool, but I've often been working below my rate, floating a whole production, and waiting 60 or 90 days to get paid by one of the biggest media companies in the world. I've talked to many people who are super talented working on big projects all across the world, and for one reason or another, a lot of them have problems with what they do. This is normal. We often fall into this trap of participating in creative kayfabe, where we act like we moved on to some new chapter of our story and those old problems are behind us, but inside we are running into the same problems over and over again. Worse yet, we often find ourselves in worse scenarios, and that could be anything depending on what you're doing, but we want to be excited, and so publicly we put out this image that everything's great up here, I'm so excited and happy to be here. So then the people coming up behind us look at the people ahead who they aspire to be like, and they say, I want to do that too, that looks so cool, but they don't really know what that entails, they just know what we're saying. I feel like each level of this journey is a mirror image of the ones around it. You've got the same treasures and the same traps. You've got good work, bad work, creative freedom and micromanaging, manipulative people who you should set boundaries with, and awesome people who you should really hold on to. Now, I'm not picking on bigger projects or anything here either. There are tons of people doing good work and people who I have had a blast collaborating with. But the kayfabe of it all is acting like the thing that you want is brand names and views and budgets, when in reality, that has not been my experience for what is fulfilling. I just think it's kayfabe to suggest that you get out of these cycles by going up. These cycles exist on every level, and you need to be able to navigate them where you are and carry that skill set navigating them as you go up. And you also need to be okay with finding where's comfortable for you, because it's not necessarily gonna be the top of any given ladder, most viewed video or the biggest client or whatever else. You've got to find a balance of what works for you. There's excellent work being done across everything from TikTok and YouTube to commercials, documentaries. It doesn't really matter what platform you're in. There are people doing good creative work that is fulfilling to them, people who are financially stable at the level they want to be, people who are investing the amount of time they want and dealing with the amount of stress they want. And that's all personal. It's not bigger is better. I just wish we were all a little bit more honest about what each of these paths looked like, so we could help people make more educated decisions and not freak out when it's not what they expected. Now, once you've been inside the game for a while, you do get the ability to see a little bit of the pockets of where the egos and financial freedom and time investment and money are, but they are not where I expected when I started out. And also, my personal assessment of what's valuable for me in each of those things is not where I expected when I started out. All of the platforms, all of the clients, all of the budget levels, all of the crew sizes, all of these things have the potential to be done excellently or horribly. And I respect anyone pushing the edge with whatever they choose to do. I needed to find more balance in my approach, and now I focus on doing good work with good people for good people, and I think that's possible. I don't really care what the client name is at this point, or whether it's a documentary for YouTube or an Apple commercial. You've got to figure this out for yourself. Don't fall prey to the creative kayfabe. You're doing just fine. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this. If it was helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. You guys are the best.